Hey guys, welcome back to the Coffin Corner podcast. Sean is finally back from Vegas after being viciously attacked by grasshoppers.
I survived the grasshopper migration of 2019.
Thank God, dude.
So that was awesome.
But yeah, it's Thursday. It is the beginning of football season officially. Me and Sean just brutally failed our final for one of our classes.
It was
right before this. So
it was bad. So bear with us.
Yeah.
Still gonna pass the class.
It was depressing, but whatever. You know, there's football now.
Tonight.
Like, yeah, who gives a shit about that test? But yeah, dude, Falcons-Broncos Hall of Fame game in Canton. I'm hyped. Clearly, you are dressed for the occasion.
I am so ready for football to be back.
Me too, dude.
Especially with like the Rockies.
Yeah.
And what they're doing.
Yeah, and there's no basketball. I mean, it's literally the most boring part of the year.
It is, and while the game is probably going to be boring.
Mm-hmm. It's still football.
Even if it wasn't the Broncos playing, I'd still be watching.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to watch the whole thing.
And the fact that the Broncos are playing just adds to it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's fun as a fan because we have so many young players and so many players with question marks that we get to see to play tonight. And Vic Fangio did say that, you know, the starters probably aren't going to see a lot of playing time. Maybe we'll see Garrett Bowles, but probably no Emmanuel Sanders, no Joe Flacco. Probably no Cortland Sutton, Vaughn, Bradley Chubb, all the big guys that we look out for. You know, who's the player that you're focusing on the most tonight?
Well, I don't know how true it is. I heard Garrett Bowles will probably see time, Dalton Reisner, and Connor McGovern.
Yeah.
All could see time tonight. From what I've been hearing, there's been issues at center during camp with the snaps and all that. So I would say Connor McGovern, but the fact that Joe Flacco's not going to be playing, probably not him. I'm kind of interested in the wide receiver group at this point.
Yeah.
Because I don't know because how many receivers do they keep?
I'm not sure, but there's a lot of guys who have been making a lot of noise in camp, right?
Right.
Especially Juwan Winfrey.
That's what I was going to say.
Cecil Lammey at 104.3, I think, or someone at 104.3 put out an article talking about, you know, is Deshaun Hamilton's position in jeopardy due to the fact that people like, you know, Kelvin McKnight, Trinity Benson, and Juwan Winfrey are making a lot of plays in camp. For me, that's one guy I really want to watch is Juwan Winfrey. Obviously, you have Kevin Hogan and Drew Lock probably taking most of the snaps. But it'll be fun to watch him, you know, if he does make a couple plays, carry over that training camp success into a game. And, you know, another CU guy that's making waves in camp. So that'll be fun to watch. I'm excited to watch guys like Josie Jewell play, you know, with the injury of Todd Davis, seeing how he fits into that scheme and stuff. But, I mean, there's so many guys that we could talk about that we get to watch tonight. Another guy I'm interested in is Brett Ripien. I hope he gets sufficient playing time.
I think he will.
Honestly, I want the quarterbacks to be Flacco, Locke, and then Ripien behind him. I think it'd be kind of funny to have two rookies, but I like him a lot, and I want to see him play.
I don't think Kevin Hogan makes the team.
Yeah, you said that earlier, and that would be kind of shocking. I mean, he is starting our first preseason game.
He's not, in my opinion, he's not an NFL quarterback, let alone a second stringer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and I think, you know, we had gone to camp that one day together, and I think watching him play just solidified the fact that he isn't. And Kevin Hogan showed signs in the past in the preseason. But I just don't think I agree with you. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. But I think the Broncos have taken some time to develop him as a backup. And I think that will keep them from cutting him.
I just feel like you could move on from him and you wouldn't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, it wouldn't affect the team. Well, and it's not like, you know, Joe Flacco's our quarterback right now.
No, yeah.
And Drew Lock is the quarterback of the future. So, you know, not having Kevin Hogan there won't hurt us any. Because if Joe Flacco goes down and Drew Lock has to play, well, then Drew Lock's getting playing time. Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to have someone with experience, in my opinion, because you have that in Joe Flacco, as well as the quarterback you took in the second round.
Yeah.
So, if, like you said, if Joe Flacco, something happens to him, why not just play Drew Lock?
Yeah.
See what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, well, and if Joe Flacco goes down, the season is in jeopardy at that point anyways.
Yeah,
so why
probably
not go with the young guy and give him some experience and see what he can do? On the Falcons side of the ball, I'm not really sure, you know, if they're playing their start. I haven't really done much research into what they're doing.
I highly doubt. The Hall of Fame game is used. A lot of starters don't even suit up.
Yeah,
so
one guy that I do want to watch on their side, and I don't know if he'll get a lot of playing time, is Tack McKinley. He first-round pick a couple years ago. He cussed on TV. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Yeah, he he got picked in like the 20s by the Falcons, and he walked up with like a picture of his grandma.
Oh.
Yeah, and the commissioner, or I think it was Deion Sanders, was interviewing him. He's like, "This is all that matters in my fucking life," on national TV. It was the most funny thing ever.
That was him.
But I mean, he's a good pass rushing talent out of UCLA, and he's been in the league a couple years now. And he's one guy that when I think of the Falcons and think of people that you see in a game like this, he's a guy that might want to
Julio Jones
show some flashes. I mean, I would love to see Julio. I don't know if I'd want to see Julio Jones if we have Devontae Bowsby on him or anything. But another guy too, we could just list off names and names and names. But a guy that I lost hope in, that I've been hearing a lot about, fits better in Vic Fangio's system, and Vance Joseph didn't utilize him enough, is DeMarcus Walker. Yeah, exactly. So, and he's gotten in shape a lot in the offseason, and it is true, players get utilized in different systems, different ways. People succeed on different teams. So, I mean, if he came through and had a season for us, like even that Shaq Barrett did for us last year, that would be huge for him, to be an impact player that can affect the game. So.
No, yeah, for sure. Something I'm interested for this weekend is, Pat Bowlen and Champ Bailey.
Yeah, totally forgot to even talk about
getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. Like, I know, I can't remember his name, but the trainer that's inducting Pat Bowlen. I'm just excited to watch that whole.
Is it Greek?
Yeah, Greek. I don't know his name, but it's going to be an emotional thing to watch, for Pat, because, the recency of his passing away, and just all, the effect he had on, ever since I was a kid, the effect that he had on the community. Everybody knew who Pat Bowlen was. As a Denver fan, I don't know about you, but I respected Pat Bowlen as an owner. And just hearing the stories that so many players have come out and talked about, it'll be fun to watch that induction ceremony.
Did they say who's like giving a speech in his honor, or?
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm assuming his wife will.
I don't know if it would be her.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to watch.
Just because, I think she's going through kind of the same thing.
Yeah, probably.
But I think I saw the Broncos brought over 100 people from the organization to be there.
Wow.
I saw something where I think the whole cheerleading squad's gonna, I think they brought.
Yeah, I know the cheerleaders went.
I think they brought a substantial amount. Of people.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it is cool because the Broncos have never been the highlight of a Hall of Fame induction.
Mm-mm.
We've always had one guy, or here and there, but Champ Bailey also getting in. For me, that's the coolest thing ever, because when I was a kid, when I first started watching football was when we traded Clinton Portis for Champ Bailey. And Champ, I mean, he's, growing up, he was the first player I saw is wow, this is the greatest player on our team. This is the best player in franchise history, because it was the first guy I saw, besides John Elway when I was little. But it was the first guy where you're this is my favorite player because he's the best player on the team. And I mean, one of the best cornerbacks of all time.
And when you think of Champ Bailey, you think great player, great person. Obviously there's talented players that, have their issues off the field and whatnot. Champ Bailey, I feel is just the epitome of a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And then my best memory is when he picked off Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Yep.
Took it to the 1 yard line. I was at that game.
Were you really?
I was.
Interesting.
I went to the Steelers game too the next weekend, and
I remember that game.
That was bad.
I don't know why I remember this, but I remember that AFC Championship because it was the year that they played the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we would have won.
Well, maybe.
No, we would have won.
But I remember watching that game. I was 7 or 8 or 9 or something. But my mom was doing her taxes at H&R Block, and I watched it on this little tiny screen. And I was just a depressed 9-year-old in a tax office. But
yeah, it was.
So yeah, we look at players, to watch for in this. What do you think the outcome of the game will be? Who's winning the first game of the season? I mean, it's so hard to tell because I mean, if Kurt Benkert is taking half the snaps for Atlanta and Ito Smith is playing, I don't know, who the fuck knows what's gonna happen.
I'm going Falcons. I don't even know if anyone will score 20. 24-17.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know. I don't have anything to base that off of.
I'm gonna take the Broncos 9-6.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a defensive effort, just because with Drew Lock and, I mean, Kevin Hogan, I don't think will produce anything.
What if Drew Lock lights it up?
I mean, that would be awesome, and he could very well do that. I mean, he showed flashes in camp that, he's got that rocket arm, but his footwork, it still isn't where it needs to be for me. And
probably processing the field.
Yeah. Well, and it's his first NFL game ever.
Right.
And we'll see. It would be great to watch him light it up because it's not, an NFL. It won't be an NFL, obviously NFL caliber defense because the players are in the NFL, but it's not a legit defense. So, and he has weapons that he'll have on offense. We'll get to see a lot of Devontae Booker tonight.
What do you think of the Theo Riddick situation?
I don't know. I think, he left Denver without a contract, and I heard it was between us and the Saints.
But then the Saints signed Rob Kelly.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll sign him. I think after tonight we'll determine, especially from Devontae Booker, whether or not we sign him. And I think that's kind of what John Elway's is waiting for, right? Like, because Devontae Booker's been that guy that we drafted, mid-round. Had a lot of promise coming out of college. He was a beast at Utah. But just hasn't developed yet. So it kind of reminds me of Ronnie Hillman a little bit. Your sworn enemy, Ronnie Hillman.
Yeah, that dude blocked me on Twitter.
Yeah. You still talk about it. It's okay. But I would too. But yeah, it reminds me a lot of Ronnie Hillman because, showed a lot of promise and got a lot of opportunity and just really never produced. He's been okay in some games. But for me, it's a liability to keep on the roster.
I think the only reason he's still here is his pass blocking.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't add any dimension to the running game.
Well, and I think Royce is going to get a lot better at that. Royce has the body for that. And, he's a bigger back. And I think that, if he learns, if he gets a little better at it, he'll be just as efficient as Devontae Booker.
I saw an article on Twitter, and this guy said if the Broncos signed Theo Riddick, that Philip Lindsay's in trouble. And I was like, because he mentioned
I don't think Theo Riddick's ever made a Pro Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
I highly doubt it. Dude probably has like 10 rushing yards in his whole career. He just catches.
He has a lot of catches.
No, yeah. He's definitely a threat.
Which is something we don't really have. We've been trying to work on with Philip Lindsay.
But exactly, because is he not what you want Philip Lindsay to be?
Yeah, exactly.
But with a running game Philip Lindsay has?
Yeah.
But the article said that Royce Freeman was getting a majority of the touches, and Theo Riddick would threaten Philip Lindsay because of his dimension of catching out of the backfield. And I was like, bro, you're a clown.
Yeah. I don't get that at all. But Theo Riddick, if you cut Devontae Booker and sign Theo Riddick, that's an automatic improvement. Before he ever touches the field, that's an automatic improvement.
Put him in on third down.
Yeah, exactly. And Joe Flacco loves his tight ends, and he loves passing out of the backfield. So I think Theo Riddick would be a perfect fit here. And I think it would become more of a running back by committee here if he was in the mix. Which is always a good threat to have. That's like what New England does every year.
Not for my fantasy team.
Yeah, if Theo Riddick signs here, I'm probably not taking Philip Lindsay in the early rounds.
Probably not.
But yeah, I think it's a blueprint of really successful teams in the past. So I would love to see it, and I really like Theo Riddick a lot. He contributed
for sure.
a lot in Detroit. So that would be my ideal situation. Cut Devontae and sign Theo.
I just like you said, him leaving without a contract.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to feel about that, but like you said, it was between the Saints and us, and the Saints signed someone right after his physical or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think John Elway's just waiting to see, the outcome of this first preseason game because it was within a week of the first game of the season. So that's a lot. If we did sign him and brought him in, you'd have 5 running backs, 6 running backs on the roster, and that's a lot to prepare for a game. And I think it depends on the production of the running backs in this game.
Do you think it's fair to judge it off of this game?
Yeah, I do and here's the reason why, is you give, Devontae Booker has produced what he's produced in the past years, right? Like 2 or 3 years. And you know what he's going to give you on the field. Now, you've given him a full off season to train or get in shape or whatever. So now we're going to see if Devontae Booker has made another step in his productiveness or his ability. And I think we're going to see it tonight because he's going to get a lot of time.
I just don't like the talent he's going up against to measure.
That's true,
his
but
success. I just feel like it's not fair. Maybe the first actual game.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like after this game, it's not fair to him.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And we have the it's like we have an advantage, kind of like when we got to coach the Senior Bowl. We had an advantage in the draft, right? Because you get to interact with all these players and see how they interact in the huddle. We have an advantage now of the fact that we have an extra preseason game.
Right.
And I think that, that has a lot to do. you get one extra game to
evaluate,
analyze everybody. So I like that, and obviously as a Broncos fan, I'm like, fuck yeah, we got one more game to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think Devontae Booker is going to do anything. I think he'll get cut. There are a lot of guys on the bubble that really need to make plays. And even if some guys do make a lot of big plays, they're still in jeopardy of getting cut. Sua Craven's being one, too. Just because that secondary is so crowded now.
I feel like he's had a good camp.
Yeah, I mean, he had a couple picks. And I think he'll get a lot of playing time, too. Just because, Justin Simmons and Kareem probably aren't going to play. Will Parks, if he plays, I don't know if he's going to play or not. If he does, if Will Parks starts tonight, I expect him to dominate.
Yeah.
Because he is a starting caliber guy. He's a ball hawk. He's a hard hitter. I love Will Parks personally. And I think, if he does get a chance to start tonight, he will just absolutely dominate.
Who is one player on the Broncos that you think is going to have a breakout season? Like the NFL, like people are going to start taking recognition.
Well, I think, aside from rookies, because I think Dalton Reisner is going to be, this year's Quentin Nelson, honestly. Just the rumors coming out of camp and then watching him in camp.
Right.
He looks like he's been in the league for 10 years and he's made the Pro Bowl every single one. The confidence and just like the grind that he has. But a guy that, what was your question? I forgot. I'm talking about Dalton Reisner.
Who's going to have a breakout year?
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be one of the two guys in the secondary. I think it's going to be Justin Simmons or Will Parks.
I think it's going to be Justin Simmons.
Yeah.
I love Justin Simmons.
Yeah, one, and, look at Eddie Jackson last year in Vic Fangio's defense. Made him a Pro Bowler, right? And Vic Fangio does well with secondaries. And just the supporting cast around him, you have a great pass rush, and you have great secondary. So it's going to open him up for like the opportunity to make a lot more plays than he did last year.
Justin Simmons is already a baller. I just feel like he's going to take another step, and people around the league are going to start taking notice. Yeah.
Another guy too that I'm excited about, that we haven't even talked about, is the first round pick in the draft, Noah Fant.
I've heard he's had a rough.
Yeah, he has had a rough camp, but that's fine with me. I think Noah Fant still has all the ability in the world. He just has to get used to running a pro style offense, and get used to run blocking and running up the middle. But I'm curious to see how many snaps he gets tonight, because
I want to.
That again, like the secondary, the tight end room is very crowded.
I feel like he'll play a lot.
And we'll see.
So I feel like Jeff Heuerman's the number one right now.
Jeff Heuerman, what have we heard from him in camp? I haven't heard his name one time. One time.
But going back to it, I think Jake Butt doesn't make the team.
Mm-hmm.
From everything I've heard, predicted that. On the bubble.
And it was him or Troy Fumagalli, right? And we signed that guy out of Florida. He's a camp body. But for me, I think Jake's gonna get cut, which is it sucks. It's so much promise in a tight end. I mean, we picked him right before George Kittle, who's a Pro Bowler, but his career was incredible at Michigan. He would have been a first-round pick if he never got hurt.
Yeah.
And just the ACLs, it's really shitty. But I had hope for him coming into camp, and I think he's just been. That injury's still bugging him too much, and I don't think he's going to get a chance to do what he wanted to in these preseason games.
Because I've been hearing he's had out like 3 straight days or something. Like it's just lingering. But Noah Fant, I'm trying to think of where we're going.
Tight ends. I mean,
I think
who are we going to see? Troy Fumagalli and Noah Fant.
I would
probably most likely.
Yeah.
Which one more? And if Troy Fumagalli starts to produce as well in this game, that'll give me some hope that, okay, he is over his injury, unlike Jake Butt. And finally we're seeing what Troy Fumagalli can do.
Right.
Yeah.
What is your way too early Super Bowl prediction?
Oh, damn. We're changing course real quick. Honestly,
I just like these, football starting tonight. Let's get some predictions.
So I'll give you my NFC and AFC championship. How about that? And then I'll give you my Super Bowl prediction.
Okay.
So my NFC championship game, I'm going to go with a grudge match. Rams-Saints. Drew Brees last night coming in at second overall on the top 100 list. I think this is, Mike Thomas got his deal. Alvin Kamara is the feature back now. And I think they're ready to take that leap and win this. I mean, they might have gone to the Super Bowl last year pending
they should have
an atrocious call.
They should have.
But I think they're going to come out guns a-blazing. I think that the Saints will have the best record in the NFL. So with that being said, Rams, Saints, NFC Championship. Saints advance to the Super Bowl. My AFC Championship, this is an interesting one because both of these teams had top 5 picks a couple years ago. But I'm going to go Colts and Browns. I see your face.
Damn.
I really believe in, dude, it's 100% because I just am enthralled with Baker Mayfield.
You're a big Baker Mayfield guy.
I called it on here. I said he's going to win MVP. And everybody is always like, what? Like, oh, MVP. But then somebody like Cam Newton wins it one year. And nobody predicted that. You know what I mean? So I think Baker, just watching him play is, and again, this is a high and right thing, but I think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback by the end of his career. And I think
that's a bold.
I mean, this team is just filled with weapons offensively.
Do you remember the Eagles, though, with the Dream Team? Nnamdi Asomugha, they got everyone, and they didn't do anything.
I think Nnamdi had one or two good years, though. Odell Beckham has had multiple 1,000-yard seasons. And Baker, it's his second year. And the numbers he put up last year, he broke records. So we'll see. I have the Colts going, though, too.
Colts Saints?
Yeah, Colts. I have Colts Browns.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, I have the Colts ultimately going to the Super Bowl. I think this is the year of Andy Luck, too.
I heard his injuries have been kind of
his calf injuries. But from what I've read, I follow a lot of Colts guys on Twitter, like Carter Donick and just random. It's not like I follow Broncos people and then like a select few of Colts people, which I don't know why. I just follow them on Twitter. But I don't think it'll be an issue. He's already said, with his injury prior that kept him out a very long time, he said there are things that I did that I shouldn't have that kept me from coming back and kind of halted my stuff. But he said, I'm more patient now, and, I know what I have to do to recover correctly. So I don't think the calf will be an issue come game time. But, again, the weapons they have, T.Y., Eric Ebron, that offensive line that is just monstrous. And then, adding Paris Campbell. And then on the defensive side, just all the talent you have there, Malik Hooker and Darius Leonard, Pierre Desser. I think the one thing they're missing is a run game. Nyheim Hines is, an average running back. But I think Andrew Luck makes up for that in the pass game. So
I was a big advocate for Le'Veon to go there.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
So
it would have been perfect. A lot of people said why Le'Veon should go there just because that would be the most complete team in the NFL besides the Chargers maybe, but they might not even be now because of Melvin. But who are your picks?
All right, so this is my bold hot take: Broncos Vikings.
Okay.
This is the one that's never going to happen.
Well, it's your prediction.
But it's going to happen. My actual prediction.
Okay.
So let's start with...
So your non-biased prediction.
Correct.
Okay, go for it.
NFC will go Saints.
Okay.
AFC... I'm trying to think of...
I mean, you could go the safe route and pick the Patriots.
I kind of want to do what you want to do and, pick my 2 teams for the championship games.
Do it.
Then,
go for it.
We'll go Saints... I don't want to go Rams, but I'm going to go Rams.
Okay.
AFC, we're going to go Patriots, Chargers.
That's a good pick.
I hate to do this.
You got the Chargers going to the Super Bowl?
No, I got the Patriots again.
Hey, I mean, every year
Patriots,
I say...
Saints. I want to see a Drew Brees, Tom Brady Super Bowl.
That'd be really fun to watch.
Especially at the tail ends of their career.
Well, not even that, but a Sean Payton, Bill Belichick Super Bowl would be even cooler.
Can you imagine the ratings on that Super Bowl?
Yeah.
As long as the score's not 13-3.
Yeah. Well, and I think everyone always, it's like, I don't want to see Golden State play in the finals again. I don't want to see the Patriots play in the Super Bowl again. I don't want to see the Cavs play. But every year before the season starts, I'm always like, this is the year that Tom Brady finally declines. And every year he's in the MVP discussion. So you're probably right. I mean, the Patriots, say it right now, the Patriots are probably going to win the Super Bowl next year. If I had to bet my life on it, I would bet on the Patriots. But I mean, their rosters change so much every year, and they continue to just dominate. I mean, they lost Chandler Jones, they won a Super Bowl. They lost Trey Flowers this year.
And the crazy part, they didn't just lose him; they traded him.
Well,
Chandler Jones. And who was the linebacker? Going to the Browns.
Jamie Collins.
Yeah,
they traded him.
Ship him out, and they don't care. They still go and dominate.
Well, and Jamie Collins is out of the league now, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
So, but yeah, I mean, it'll be fun to watch. It's going to be a crazy season. I think, like the NBA offseason, a lot has changed. I mean, Joe Flacco is the quarterback at the Denver Broncos. But I think, Kyler Murray, there's just so many different stories this year. I think it's going to make it really fun to watch. The past 10 years, the Super Bowl for the AFC has been Tom Brady, Joe Flacco, Ben Roethlisberger, Peyton Manning. And I think this is the year that changes. Same with the NFC. There's always these perennial teams that always are the Seahawks are always in the playoffs. So it'll be fun to watch. Dude, I'm really excited for the season.
And it all starts tonight.
Tonight. I am so pumped.
Canton, Ohio, Broncos, Falcons.
Let's do it.
I'm
ready. Well, we've talked about every player on the Broncos roster at this point. But it's time to – what time is it now? How many hours we got? We got 8 hours.
8 hours.
That is a long time.
Go home, take a nap, rest up, something.
I'm literally just going to sit in front of my TV until the game comes on.
I don't have NFL Network. So, yeah. I'm sure
I'm watching it illegally. I don't know if I should say that on air, but – yeah, I'm definitely not watching it legally. I'm not paying for that. But it's nice, too. My fiance is going out with her girlfriends tonight. So it's just your boy at home alone.
Your boy, Al Michaels, Chris Collins.
Yeah. And I'm going to be – my grandmother just gave me a giant TV. Shout out to you, Grandma. Thank you.
How big are we talking?
It's like 68 inches.
Oh, my
Yeah, dude, you might have to come watch.
Goodness.
Yeah, I know. She's a very generous woman.
I'm rocking with a 55-inch, and I thought that was
hey,
like...
dude, come on over, man.
Damn.
I know you probably got plans, but...
I have a paper due Saturday, and I work a double on Saturday, so it's not getting done Saturday. So we'll see.
Sean's academic review. Failed a final. Still has to do a paper that's due Saturday.
It's the summer, baby. I'm not doing work.
Yeah. Fuck them tests. I'm the same way, though, dude. Summer classes are so easy. But that is all we have for this episode, I guess, because we're only talking about, the Hall of Fame game.
Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Although I have the Falcons winning. Go Broncos.
Yeah. Go Broncos. My MVP for this game, I'm predicting it right now, is going to be Trinity Benson.
Okay.
I'm going to say he gets a couple grabs and a touchdown.
All right.
Who's yours? You got to do it. we got to make predictions. That's what we do.
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock. All right. How many tugs is he throwing? 2?
2.
All right. Two tugs for Drew and one for Trinity Benson, who I'm sure you've all heard of, the wide receiver out of Samford. But that's all we have for today, guys. Sean, I'm so happy you're back.
It's good to be back. Vegas isn't for me.
Yeah, me either, dude. Fuck Vegas. But we'll be back probably tomorrow to talk about this game. I don't know if Sean's going to be here or not, but there will be a pod tomorrow, reviewing the game. Well, then Sean will be here tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.